From the snowy mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, we have them free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor and hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault, grab a great book from We Read the Night, join the Space Travelers for $5 a month, and Captain Shirk has you all up to date on the SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by donating to Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. Dee McCullay is a filmmaker with a passion for topics that are strange, weird, and literally out of this world. In 2012, Dee created Dark History, a paranormal series, and then he traveled across the United States in 2014, working closely with A&E Biochannel's Chelsea Damali on several projects. Dee's work over the last few years has been seen and heard all over North America. He's filmed documentaries on everything from ghosts to Sasquatch, UFOs, and what we're going to get into tonight, the legendary little people of native legend. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Mr. Dee McCullay, appreciate you taking the time to join us here for the first time on Spaced Out Radio. How are you?
I'm doing great. I hope everything's going good over there. I'm glad to be on the show.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here as well. Dee, you know, we always like to talk to new people such as yourself who've never been on this show before. What got you into the paranormal? Why did you go down this road?
Wow, that's quite the question to start off. Do you mind the long answer or the?
Well, we got time. Give it all, man. We got time.
All right. Starting off when I was about 8 years old. It's kind of weird. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd hear my voice being called. It wasn't my parents, it wasn't any family member, but I'd hear that, and it was kind of weird. So finally, I keep hearing my name all the time, and then finally I worked up the nerve as a little boy to say what, and it just stopped. It's the weirdest thing, and there was never anyone around saying my name. It was just really weird. And then some days I'd wake up where it sounds like there's a party going on in the house. Lots of people. That's the way it sounded. Like there's people talking and almost like there's low music going on. So I'd wake up and then I'd look around thinking people were here. I'd walk around. There's no one up, no TVs on, nothing like that. So that was my introduction to the paranormal. We live in quite an old house, and there's paranormal history to it. And
at 8 years old, when you were hearing this, what are mom and dad telling you at this time when you're saying, "What's all that noise? What's going on?" Because as kids, the first thing we do is run to our parents.
I never did that.
Really?
I just kept it to myself for years and years and years, and just recently, with doing these documentaries and stuff, I've had so many chances to finally come out and tell these stories that I'd never told anyone before. They now know about it, my parents and stuff, but they never really said anything about it. But quite weird, that's for sure. It's something to think about. This house does have ghosts. Like, probably I could walk through the place and, in 5 minutes get like 2 or 3 EVPs out of it because I've done it before. So, being 8 years old, that was my introduction. I think really what happened was I opened myself up to the paranormal, not really meaning to, not really knowing that that's what I was doing by answering back. You get the call, you answer, you don't answer. Well, I answered, and kind of just shifted a door open for me.
My goodness.
So we go ahead a bunch of years into about 1993 or so. That's when I first heard of EVP. My friend told me about it, and I thought he was crazy. We go to a cemetery, and you ask the questions, we get responses. I'm like, yeah, right. That's crazy talk kind of thing. Well, it bugged me, and finally I went to a cemetery, I had a big ghetto blaster with me. You remember those?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I went to the cemetery tape recorder, sat down, hit record, started asking questions, and I didn't really know what I was looking for, but I heard there was going to be answers. So play it back, start listening to it. But there in some of that warbly old tape was some sounds that sounded like breathy responses. Short responses like yes or no or something like that, and or sometimes even hey. And that's weird, being a paranormal investigator. I still get that a lot when I'm at some venue. Seems to be one of the easiest things to say is hey, like that.
Exactly.
Like I wasn't really expecting, hi, how's it going? You're visiting me today? That kind of thing. No, it was nothing like that. For those of you out there who are interested in opening that door to the paranormal, well, you're going to get a lot of responses that are like that. Sometimes a little, short little whispers. They come across as whispers, though I have caught audible disembodied voices. And actually heard them and have them recorded. So you do get some of those once in a while, but a lot of times if you're a real paranormal investigator and you're trying to be, trying to get these answers, well, you're not always going to get responses, but certain times you do get little answers to your questions and stuff. So that was way back in 1993. And the only thing we had back then, we didn't have, a computer to amplify the sound. What I was using was a ghetto blaster tape recorder on it, and then the only thing to boost that sound was the volume and the equalizer. That's all I had. So that takes me down to this other story. Is around that same time in the 90s there, and I was coming home from my hometown here of Red Rock. I was traveling out onto the highway to my parents live on the highway, so it was late one night, and I decided I'm going back home. My parents were at camp, right? So I'm staying with my aunt. So I decided I'm going to travel 8 kilometers, and I'm going to bike home. Well, I start biking home, and it's pitch black outside, really hot. That's what I remember. There's no moon, and I'm traveling down the road. I could feel myself on the pavement, and in pitch black. So I could tell when I'm on the pavement and I'm off the pavement. I don't want to hit that ditch, so try to stay on the pavement. Stay off the center of the road. My eyes are slowly starting to adjust to the darkness. There's just enough to see a little bit of something that I'm still on the white line kind of thing. So I'm riding, out here at kilometer 7. I'm close to home, getting closer, and I can see these brand new street lights that they put up at the intersection of the highway. And so my eyes are so adjusted by them that just to see that light, it just lit everything up for me. I could see all the way down the road by this time. So I'm driving down the road. I get maybe, 300 meters away, something like that. I don't know. Close to home, though. And next thing you know, just from out of the blue, I get screamed at in my face by this. It was just a blood-curdling scream. And it just boiled my blood. I didn't know what to do. And it was a girl that screamed at me. And the first thing that entered my mind was the word banshee. And it almost blew me off the bike. It was so terrifying. So I went home. I called the police. And what else was I going to do? Because it scared me. And they actually went and looked. But I got a call back. And they said there is nobody out on that road. So I didn't know what was up with that. But there's just another odd thing that happened that I couldn't explain.
No kidding.
You were going to say something?
No, I was just saying, like in listening to that, I mean, I've never had that happen, and I've heard of people who have, because in the Vancouver area, there's a ghost that's known to do that along the roads, and it freaks a lot of people out. And so I have heard that before, but I mean, you must have just been freaking out when that happened.
I was totally freaked out. I actually remember looking in the mirror and I was white as a sheet. It scared me so bad. And I remember that night too. I couldn't sleep for most of the night after that. It kept ringing in my ears. You know how something's so loud that it rings?
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened. And I could still play it back in my head, and it kept me from sleeping that night. So that was one of the weird things that had happened on this road out here. And then around that same time too, living in the room in the basement corner of the house there, and there's a window there, single window, and I'd always get these rapping sounds on the window. This is not just a little love tap or a knock. This is a violent rap on the window, sharp, like bony knuckles about to break the window. It's just like that. And that would happen when I was just about to fall asleep. And it would happen a lot. And I started asking my friends at school, I'm like, did you drop by the house or anything last night? Were you trying to play tricks or anything? Were you out here? I said, no, why would I be out there trying to sleep? I'm like, yeah, well, that makes sense. So this thing kept happening, and eventually it started wearing me down where I'm starting to dread this kind of thing of happening. And my brother had bought you remember one of those things called an ab roller?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I was trying to get in shape back then because I was pretty thin already, but I was trying to, get some, abs and stuff like that. And, well, I put that ab roller in the doorway of my room. I had finished it. I just put it there for some reason. So I went to bed. Then I'm watching Clash of the Titans or something like that. And I was just about to fall asleep, and then here comes the dreaded sound. Rap, 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 on the window. And I jumped out of bed. I don't know how I did it, but I jumped out of bed in one shot and tripped over the ab roller in the doorway, the threshold, scraped up my hands and arms and elbows, my forearms, and I'm all full of blood. By the time I make it to the top of the stairs to tell my mother about it, there's blood all dripping down, and she said, "What happened?" "Oh, it happened again. The rapping on the window." And so she didn't know what to think of that, but she's like, "Well, all I can say is sleep up in the living room." So I did, and that hadn't happened for a few months after that. But come wintertime,
they couldn't find you.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's exactly what it was, because I never even thought of that. That's some good thinking there. Wintertime, it must have been just the next year, just maybe February, because that was happening all through that one year. So it must have been like February or something. It was freezing cold up here, in northern Ontario, minus 40 some nights and stuff like that. And the only people crazy enough to be out in that weather is people on skidoos around here. Right. And you would hear them, you would see them, you'd see tracks, you'd see everything. You'd know they're out there with their headlights on. Well, it's about 10 o'clock at night. Me and my mother are watching a TV show. And then we hear it. Directly below us is the bedroom, because I'm up in the living room. Directly below is my bedroom. And what happens is we hear these thuds, and we could tell it happened right on the window again. Like boop, 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 like that on the window. I'm like, "Mom, there it is, there it is." "Yes, I heard it." And we go look out the big picture window. The only thing we see is our neighbor on a skidoo going way up the tower line, because out here we have tower lines, and that's where all the electricity comes from and stuff. And there's a pipeline out there too and stuff. And that's the only person that was out there. So I went out. And looked, and there was no footprints at that window, but we could both tell that's exactly where it came from, was that window again. So in thinking about this now, that you said that they couldn't find me, they must have been just testing if I was in that room or not, whoever they are. So that's just another one of my ghostly stories that had happened to me in this journey of becoming a filmmaker.
Well,
That's very weird.
No better experience than to experience it yourself. And for the experiences that you have had, I could see where you've gone on this quest to try and figure out what the heck is going on with you and why you think that you have had these strange encounters. Have you ever sat back, whether it's by yourself and just deep thought or anything, and just kind of curious as to why this was happening to you?
I thought about that kind of thing a lot, and the only thing I could think of was back when I was 8 years old, by just answering this ghostly voice, that I had opened myself up to the paranormal. Like a door was open that I couldn't close after that. And that's another message for you, paranormal investigators out there who are just starting. It's you're making a willing choice to follow things that you don't really know what they are. You could be following demonic beings, or even just beings that will attach themselves to you. Just be aware that you're making a choice. It's a door that you can't really close. So be advised about that. That takes me right into about 1997. My next paranormal endeavor was we had, by that time, an attached dwelling onto the main house here. We live in the country, so there's enough room to build on and stuff like that. Well, there's an attached dwelling out there, and that's where I was living. My girlfriend as well, and or at the time, my girlfriend. Well, my mother says one morning when I come in for coffee that she says, "Were you coming into the house last night? Was that you?" "What do you mean?" "Well, someone has been coming into the house every night for the last 2 nights. The front door would open, it would close. Someone would walk up the stairs really heavy. It sounded like they were wearing work boots. They'd come up the stairs, they'd walk around the table, and then they'd go back down the stairs, and they'd open and close the door again." And I never looked because I assumed it was you. I said, "No, we haven't been coming in." So right there, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try to capture this. So I grabbed my, what did I have at the time? I had a mixing board. I had a microphone, Sony mini disc recorder. I set that up in the house here in a spy-like fashion that I can capture this without whoever it is knowing. And I waited. I was all excited about that. Oh, I'm going to catch this. Whatever it is, it's going to be crystal clear too, it's going to be on mini disc and stuff like that. So the night goes by. I get up in the morning. I'm all excited. I come into the house straight downstairs, start listening. And nothing happened that whole night. In fact, that was the end of that whole experience or incident. So that leads me to another paranormal tip too, is that if you're going through a haunting, try to capture it. Because it seems a lot of times when you're trying to capture something, it just stops. So that's a good little tip for you. What else?
It's very easy to see how you went on this journey, in regards to your own life, because it seems like every time something slows down, something new happens. You get another taste of something, as we got about just under 4 minutes to go before we got to go to break at the bottom of the hour.
Okay. Should I go on or?
Yeah. Continue on with your story. This is intriguing.
Okay, just let me know when our time is up for that.
I can do that
or something. Okay, so the next thing that happened right around that time was me and my girlfriend at the time were laying on the living room floor, and the TV was off that night. It was just dark in here, but the curtains were they were like a white see-through curtains kind of thing, and we had those new street lights installed outside at the intersection out here, and you could clearly see the street light coming in and stuff like that. It was pitch black the rest of the room. And happened to wake up for some reason, and I saw something, and I kept it to myself. So I'm going to fast forward a bit to the year 2000, the night of Y2K, where everyone was afraid that the computers were going to go down.
Yes.
We're in Thunder Bay, and we're telling ghost stories at night to fill the time, waiting to see what would happen. And my girlfriend at the time decides she's going to tell a ghost story. The story goes, we're laying in the living room, and our feet are toward the window, and she just had this feeling to wake up and look. And there in front of her was a little girl standing in the window. Her hair was blowing as if there was a wind. The curtains were moving, and she was wearing a white dress, even with elastic bands on the dress and stuff like that. And what happened, you could even see the streetlight shining on the side of her face. She was solid. And for that 2 seconds, she started to fade away after that into the curtains themselves. And it almost knocked me off the chair when she told me that, because that's exactly what I saw. And that's what I told her. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was me just, seeing things, after waking up or something like that. But no, that's a verification right there that there was a ghost less than 2 feet away from us.
Wow. When you see something like that, and I've had something similar happen, but for people who don't know what that's like, what do you go through when all of a sudden there's something right in front of you that isn't supposed to exist?
A lot of disbelief. That's what it is. It takes a while to come to terms with it, especially when you're not ready. I wasn't ready to see that. And it took me a long time to come to terms with what I saw, especially after she had verified the encounter. Yeah, so it was just one of those things that you kind of have to deal with and put in the back of your mind that it's possible you might see these things around again, and I have.
So when you were dealing with these situations, as we have about 45 seconds here, are you at the point now that you've experienced so much of this that doesn't really freak you out anymore?
No, it doesn't freak me out. Like, I did a paranormal investigation at the Mackenzie Inn, and something had touched me. I had asked it to touch me. Well, it lifted my necklace right off the back of off the back of my neck. It sort of freaked me out, but not to the point where I was running and screaming. I tried to make it happen again, and this time on camera, which it didn't happen after that.
Well, of course not, because they never want to give you what you actually want and need. They're pretty unfair jerks that way. They can be, for sure. Dee, I'm going to get you to hold on here because we are going to step out for a quick break here at the bottom of the hour. Movie director, documentary director, producer, Dee McCullay is our guest tonight. When we return, we're going to learn about little people. What are they? He's going to tell us the legend, the folklore behind this incredible paranormal experience next on Spaced Out Radio.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
we're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Hello everyone, this is Ryan Stacy from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightline Report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines report on the Spaced Out Radio website and let's figure out what's going on together.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of a very cold SOR headquarters, although it's warm inside tonight, which is always nice. Reminder, if you've missed portions of this show or others, do me a favor, go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Hit that subscribe button, because that's all I ask for in return when you get all of our archives for free. Tonight we're talking monsters, legends, folklore, First Nations stories from the past. Are they still around in the future as well? Our guest tonight, movie director, documentary director, producer, Dee McCullay. He's out of the Canadian province of Ontario, joining us way late for him, but still early for us here on the West. How you doing, Dee?
I'm doing pretty good and still here.
Excellent, my friend. You know, one of the biggest legends outside of Sasquatch, when it comes to First Nations, Indigenous people, is that of little people. Now, many First Nations believe that this is a legend of tricksters, of little people. Now, we're not. How do you put this politely? You know, I always think of Gulliver's Travels, the little people in Gulliver's Travels, who took Gulliver, obviously, and then he had to talk his way out of it. But these are legends that have been going on for centuries about these little tricksters that can be very, very good to you, maybe even good luck, or they can be a little bit suspicious in the way they act around, especially if they feel they've been threatened or abused. How did you learn about little people?
How did I learn about that? That's the thing. I don't even remember how I learned about it. It was just there. And I remember around that time that I was watching a show called, it was locally produced or locally made, internationally shown, I guess, across Canada. It was Spirit Bay. And I remember at the time I had, I don't know, some kind of interest in these little people. And one of the shows had mentioned the little people. And the show was actually about that. It was about learning to respect these water creatures, or else bad things would happen. And I guess these two kids disrespected these creatures, and they had to go on a journey after that to dispel the problem. To please these creatures, they'd had to give up something special to them and give them to the little people, and everything would go well for them again. And I remember that episode. And it was kind of in the back of my mind for a while, because I had done Sasquatch documentaries, ghosts, UFOs by that time. And this is my newest documentary called Mimigwesi, Rock Medicine Man. And I'd done a lot of study after that in preparation for the documentary. And I just put it out just last year, I think the end of last year. So it was quite the cool thing to actually start digging up all this information. I wanted it to be a documentary where, if you've heard of these things, this would be an all-encompassing documentary that would gather in information from there, information from here and over there, put it all together into one nice package that you can learn about these creatures. And that's what happened with that.
Are they creatures?
They seem to be creatures that were like physical beings, almost in the same line of half human, half monkey. Also, that's according to the legends what they were. They exhibited monkey-like characteristics. If I was to give a description, I've never seen one, but this is according to legend and story and other people. According to sightings, they stand about 3 feet tall, and some even shorter, down to 6 inches or so. And I've had 2 stories come up about these little creatures, little people. That one guy was driving down the road with his niece. After I put out the documentary, I got this comment that came through, that he was driving down a country road with his niece and I think his sister in the back seat or something like that. And for some reason, they had just stopped. I don't know why. I can't remember what he said, why they had stopped. But they all happened to see this 6-foot human, or 6-inch human standing on the side of the road, and they took off. So that was pretty neat. And then there was another story, I think, took place back in the 70s around Fort Francis, Ontario, I believe. There was this woman just told me it while doing the research for this, that her father or father-in-law was working in the woods. And he's deep in the woods. I don't know exactly what he was doing out there. Maybe he was a forester or something like that. I don't know. But he was in the woods. And I think he had sat down for a break, and then all these little people started, I guess, gathering around him or something like that. And I guess he found out later that he was in a gathering spot for the little people. And they were about 6 inches tall. So there's those two stories there. They're also said to stand bow-legged, these creatures, with monkey-like characteristics. And they're very old. They're said to be old beings, very smart and wise. They're adorned with 2 horns. They have thin faces. They have big eyes and sharp teeth. Long beards, kind of like mountain men, I guess, long beards. And they're sometimes, according to some beliefs and sightings, that they're missing their nose, and that leaves them ashamed of their faces. So quite odd, these creatures, that's for sure.
Up here where I live in British Columbia, there are a number of legends and folklore that go along with the little people. And the closest Indian band towards me is a group called the Cannon Lake Indian Band. And it's one of the largest in the province. And long story short, a good friend of mine, Danny, is part of that band. And one day he came. I looked at him, and when I saw him, I said, "Man, you look pretty tired." I said, "Everything going all right?" He goes, "Nah, man." He goes, "I was just up all night long." Oh, well, how come? And he knew I was into all of this and knows the radio show and everything like that. And he says to me, he goes, "I had to deal with the little people last night." I said, "Oh." I said, "What happened?" And he tells me this story about how his mother's jewelry started disappearing. And so he was spending all night making miniature jewelry and miniature hats for the little people, so that way they would return the jewelry. And then, in the middle of the night, while he had just finished, they put it upstairs to where his mother's jewelry was. And all of a sudden they heard the ruckus of the little people upstairs. And a few minutes later, because you never go check on them, you always wait until they're done and until they leave out of respect. And they went back a little bit later, and all Mom's jewelry was back.
Cool.
So there's a lot with that. There's another legend from that same area where, in order to go to the village, you have to be invited. So you drive up the mountain, because there's lots of big mountains around here. So you drive up the mountain and you go as far as the trail will allow you to go. And once you get to the end of the trail, you get out of your vehicle, and then you have to ask permission from the great grizzly bear spirit that guards that trail. And if the grizzly bear spirit likes you and finds you good enough and honest enough, he will allow you to continue up the trail to go see the little people's village. Now, I haven't been on that journey yet. I would like to. But it just goes to show how these, I don't want to call them creatures because I don't know if they are or not, but how respected the First Nations type culture respects these creatures. Like they base what they do upon these creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you say?
I think they do, because there's places up around here where the natives were and are said to leave gifts of tobacco and other things for safe passage up the Nipigon River into Lake Nipigon, stuff like that. Ancient sacred places with rock ledges where, the rock just dips down into water, and these things are said to live in these caves and fissures and cracks in the rock. And some of them truly believe that if you show respect, you will have safe passage. You will get the fish that you're out fishing for. And in fact, that show, Spirit Bay, that's actually what it was about, fishing. Come to think of it. And they disrespected them, and then they didn't get fish, so they went and appeased them by dropping off gifts of things that had hurt to lose, and they were blessed after that. So it's the same sort of idea. It seems like the people that did the production, the researchers actually did some research into these stories. They're not just stories you tell. No, they're like ancient stories as well. So yeah, that makes sense.
Dee, why are these characters or creatures? Like I said, I don't even know what to call them. Why are they so revered yet feared at the same time, in your opinion?
In my opinion, they're so old. And I believe they live a long time, kind of like Yoda, I guess, in a way that you're always to respect your elders, right? So these are sort of elders that the old native people, the medicine men, the Medewiwin can go to in times of need. Respectfully enter the rock. The rocks would open up to them, and they would go speak to them and get medicines, things that are needed, or get answers that they were looking for. And they'd swiftly be let out after getting their stuff, and they'd go cure their people. They were to always be treated with respect, such ancient creatures.
So with that, why do they have the nerve or the ability to strike back if something does not appease them?
That I don't know. Like, I had heard they had little knives and spears and paddles and things that they could attack people with. Why should they be respected? I guess some people would ask that. Well, maybe it's just instilled in the native people that you are to respect them regardless of whether you believe in them or not, or they will, attack you or hurt you, throw you off the boat or off cliffs and stuff like that. Because according to legends, they can do that. They can move large rocks, cause landslides and stuff. So maybe instilling that respect, that fear into the younger generations is it's like a service for teaching and stuff like that.
Is this a piece of folklore or a tale that is still widely respected by the communities today, or do they look at the little people much like they do with a lot of the old stories, where the newer generations are kind of like, that's just a load of crap, or we don't believe that at all?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I haven't talked to all that many people about it. I've just done basically my research from books and online and stuff, and looking up other things maybe on YouTube and stuff like that. Like I said, because I'm trying to put this all-encompassing documentary together. But I believe that, yes, the young people have strayed away, but there are a lot of people as well that will still learn these ancient stories. Like, I know there's one guy up at Rocky Bay that has all these ancient stories. He said they're ancient, old legends of Lake Nipigon and the creatures and all the stuff, which I need to make a documentary about probably this year. They need to, they collect. Some people are collecting the stories, such as myself. I'm collecting the stories as well for, what would you call it, posterity or something like that. Collecting it for future generations, that it'll never be lost. There's got to be some people in the Native community that will continue on with these old stories. I believe, yes, we need that.
So
whether the young people believe it or not. Yeah, that's
for
that's
you.
all.
For you, why is it very important that these stories continue?
I love history. I've always loved history. I've done good on it in school. I probably should have been a historian, but I never went that route. And what it is a passion for history. You know, a lot of times when you're going into historical archives and stuff like that, these aren't just words. They're not just names. These were living people with great stories. You know, if you walk into a cemetery, can you imagine not just looking at these tombstones, not just looking at the name on it and walking by, but the stories that these people could have told that they went through, the heartbreak, the torture, the love, everything. It all would. It's too bad someone couldn't mark down everyone's stories. That'd be awesome for humanity as a whole. So, yes, I respect history, and that's why I want to keep these stories alive.
When you are looking through the little people, what brings them around? What brings them to someone's attention?
How would I answer that? What brings to people's attention? I don't know if there's an attraction to certain people or not. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe something that people should maybe need to learn. Maybe that's it. Maybe they maybe have some kind of knowledge, inner knowledge that, this person should be taught this, so we should go see him. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not exactly sure why they would just suddenly appear to certain people and not other people. Because that's apparently what they can do as well, is vanish in the thin air. It's just like the Sasquatch, the same thing. I remember a story, too, that happened up in Gull Bay, too, where this girl was told, don't stay up late at night. Come inside. You stay up late, the little people will get you. And she was always told that. Well, one time she decides to stay up late, and a person comes outside to meet her and says, I told you not to stay out late, something like that. And says, why? Or the little people will get me? And then she says, well, yeah, what's that big thing behind you? She turned around. She didn't see anything, but according to that older lady that told her this, there was something huge, shadow-like, that was behind her. So there was that story, and that led her to believe that these ancient creatures are also shapeshifters as well. So if we might see a 6-inch little person, a 3-foot one, we might see a great spirit, according to her, that these are shapeshifters, and we're just seeing in various forms, and maybe even Sasquatch may be of some relation to that as well.
Really? Why? Why do we think Sasquatch may be of relation to it?
Well, Sasquatch is also said to exhibit monkey-like characteristics or great apes, stuff like that. There was a story at a Gull Bay, too, that there's this girl, she was running around in that same area where they say little people are, a certain area in the Gull Bay Reserve. Well, there is also a burial ground right there, and everyone saw something different. One person saw a giant 20-foot owl that scared them out of the woods. Another out of the burial ground. Another person, was chased out of there by what she described was a shadowy Sasquatch. It chased her so far, a certain distance. She was chased by this creature, and then she just quickly, immediately was, how would I say that? I don't know. Time shifted or shifted through space from that burial ground right to the water's edge at Lake Nipigon there. So it's just one of those strange stories from Gull Bay that people say are true, and maybe the Sasquatch and the Mimigwaishi, they're called, have some connection. Maybe they are shapeshifters. Maybe that's why both creatures can disappear at will.
Makes a lot of sense. We've only got about 2 minutes to go before we got to go to break here at the top of the hour. Dee McCullay is our guest tonight. Sticking with little people until we get to the top, and then in the next hour we're going to get into some Sasquatch and other monsters coming on up. But Dee, the little people seem to be everywhere. We know the Cherokees down in the United States, they have always talked about the little people. We know in Canada they have been spotted by First Nations right across the coastline from coast to coast to coast. Are we looking at little people that just affect First Nations people, or do they come after anyone? Can anybody see them or deal with them?
Anyone can see them, that's for sure. There's a historical document mentioning a voyageur up here named Venant Saint-Germain. This was in May 3rd, 1782, something like that. And he was traveling from Mackinac or something like that all the way down to Montreal or something like that, passing through Thunder Bay, Isle Pate, they call it, or Pie Island. That island, you can go there. I've never been there, but I would have liked to for the documentary. But according to this historical account, this paper, that was signed as true in front of the government or something like that back in the fur trader times. They were at Isle Pate, and they decided to set down the nets for the night and came ashore. And as they looked back out on the lake, these were French guys. Looked back on the lake, they had picked up a native traveler, a lady that needed passage. Looked on the lake, and there was this creature standing out of the water with its left arm on its hip and its one hand raised in the air, standing halfway out of the water. And the guy didn't know what to do. The voyageur didn't know what to do. It was the strangest thing ever. And he took his rifle and took aim, and the native lady pushed his gun aside, basically saying, "What are you doing? Like, you have the audacity to shoot a god of the water and lakes?" And the guy didn't know that, but that was her belief. And she left saying that they're all going to be dashed to pieces upon the rocks.
Dee, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we got to get going here at the top of the hour. Filmmaker Dee McCullay will talk Bigfoot with us in hour 2 of Spaced Out Radio coming up right after this.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now. The Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at Kajans.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thiemer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour 2 of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We say hello to our terrestrial affiliates in the United States, WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, in Reedsport, Oregon, KDUN AM 1030, in Dangerfield, Texas, KDNF AM 1560, and hi to Chuck and the crew in Ridgecrest, California at KZFX 93.7 FM. On the digital side, hi to everyone listening in on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Great to have you with us. Remember, all of our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Ubique. Ubique is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault. Grab a great book from We Read the Night. Join the Space Travelers for $5 a month, and Captain Shirk has you all up to date on the SOR Newswire. Tonight we are talking with filmmaker Dee McCullay, and we're going to get into Sasquatch now, because this legend is one that just seems to be absolutely everywhere. Dee, welcome back to the show.
All right, thanks for having me on.
No problem. Let's give a shout out to your dad, because we know he's listening.
Yeah. Hey, Dad, I hope you're enjoying the show.
Oh, he's there with you.
He's here with me, yep.
Oh, perfect. Hey, Dad, how you doing, man? Good to have you tune it on in. Good. Yeah, we always got time for that. So
stories there, boys. He says, keep up the good stories there, boys.
Excellent. We will. I promise you that. So, Dee, thank you so much for. I didn't know your dad was there. That's kind of awesome, man. Kind of awesome. Yeah. Let's get into Bigfoot here, because this is something that you're very passionate about learning more about as well. What attracts you to this story?
Well, it's always been an interest of mine since I was probably about, 14, 15, 16, watching, what channel was that? Discovery Channel and stuff like that. They'd have these stories on a Bigfoot and stuff like that. It's always piqued my interest. And, after coming back from the States, I continued on with my dark history webisodes that were supposed to be made for TV, but never got picked up or anything. So I restarted all those. And during that time on my Facebook page, Dark History, when it was active, there were stories coming through about people seeing Sasquatch up here in the North Woods around Lake Superior and stuff, and kind of kept that as an idea that possibly I might pursue this one day. So back in, I don't know what year it was, 2017, I think I did my first one. It was kind of weird because me and my friend, who was like 200 kilometers away, we were on the same page that morning. He messages me on Facebook, and he says, "Hey, Dee, what do you think of producing a Sasquatch documentary?" I was like, "Oh my God, I was just thinking the same thing." yes, I'm doing that. You know what? I'm going to start it today. I'm going to put a call out and see if we can get some of these people back who had messaged my page to tell their stories, and I'm going to try to produce this and see what happens. So the idea comes up that, hey, I'm going to create Sasquatch on Lake Superior. It has a nice ring to it, and it's very odd sounding as well. It grabs your attention, that's for sure. So I put out a short video I made with a call out telling the story of the Zabe, as the natives would call it around here, the Zabe Sasquatch. People who have had experiences, and let's see what happens. Let me know, because I want to produce a documentary. And then my friend from CBC, he saw that. He's like, "Dee, you got to come in. Let's talk about this on the radio." So I was like, "Sure." Came in the same day, and that went out on the radio. I think the next day. Then I started getting people telling me their stories and stuff. Now, when it comes to documentary filmmaking, especially of things of this nature, no one, there's a lot of people that will tell you a story, but they don't want to go on camera. They just want to share their experience with you. Why? Well, because they might get ridiculed and stuff. And, when it comes to things like this, I'm a big mouth. I will talk about Sasquatch, UFOs, aliens. I'll talk about all that stuff. No problem. Even on international TV, I've done that as well, talking about one of our ghostly hauntings that we went through. That was on Paranormal Survivor Season 3, Episode 9, Terrifying Visions. Well, I collect some of these stories, and then I find the people that actually do want to go on camera, and they tell their stories, and I start getting, drone footage and piecing this thing together and putting, sound design in it and everything like that. And I got this documentary put together. I show my brother. My brother is not really, he kind of looks away when I talk about this kind of stuff and whatever. But he watched the documentary, and I could tell he liked it. Why? Because he said, "It's garbage."
Your biggest critic.
And he said it with a smirk. So I knew he liked it. Hard to please when it comes to things like this. So yeah, I put it out. I believe it was August 1st or something like that. It started out on Vimeo, and it was the world's worst premiere. I had 2 views, and that was it. So I was like, well, this isn't going to work, especially after putting 6 months into this thing. Well, what else am I going to do here? Well, I'll just have to take it down from Vimeo, close the account, and I'll just throw it on YouTube. Well, within 3 days on YouTube, I'm already at 16,000 views. People are watching this thing, and it just keeps going and going. To this day, I believe I'm at 1,070,000, something like that, views. And people are still watching it, and some people are saying they watch it multiple times as well. They love it. So that's great. Awesome. I created a Sasquatch on Lake Superior, and people love it.
What do you think Sasquatch is? I mean, there's so many different opinions of what this creature is. I'm curious what yours is.
Well, in my opinion, what I believe it is, and it kind of shifts around depending on people's newest sightings. Sometimes it affects my belief, but I believe it's between a spirit and a physical creature, because it could disappear whenever it wants. It could just disappear on you. Sometimes it's like a chameleon. It'll stand there like a rock, just stand there watching you, and then just fade off, kind of thing. Into nothing or into its surroundings. And, when I kind of, when looking at it for study and stuff like that, I came up with some theory that maybe it's a descendant of a simian-like creature, possibly related to Gigantopithecus, or a descendant of the Nephilim, the fallen angels, or the giants that made their homes in caves and forests. Natives believe it to be something in between physical and a spiritual type being, able to appear and disappear at will. So me being partially native, that's what I believe, but I present the other theories as well about the ape-like creature or the Nephilim, stuff like that. So kind of on the fence there. But like I said, it changes every once in a while according to the newest sighting and stuff. Oh, maybe it's this or maybe it's that.
Why do you think that, and everybody has seen the Patterson-Gimlin film from 1967, why do you think, in your opinion, there is still such a great debate over what this creature is so long after this film?
Well, I think the people that see the film, the quality is there, but it's not quite there. It sort of is like a hairy human, but it sort of looks like an ape. So people are still questioning that, and they're also questioning, well, was that even real? You know, maybe it was just a person in a monkey suit. But I believe some people have tested that with the technology of the time. It's just not possible, because have you ever heard of Bigfoot AI on YouTube?
No, I have not.
Yeah, well, they use artificial intelligence to upscale that footage, and it's been stabilized many times, but they used artificial intelligence, and they really stabilized the footage and cleaned it up, and you can actually see all the muscles moving around underneath as it walks and stuff. So props to that channel, because that's a really good channel, especially using AI like that to help to try to help solve the mystery of what this was. Because according to that, it sure doesn't look like a monkey suit. It actually looks like a real creature walking.
So when you look at this creature, and you've now done some filming on it, some studying on it, what leads you to believe that this could be mythical or have some sort of supernatural ability?
Well, here's the weird thing was I can go back to, what was that now? September of 2012. At Rocky Bay, Ontario, or McDermott, Ontario. I went there to shoot Dark History episode 3 or episode 5, something like that. I went down there to shoot a ghost, our paranormal investigation kind of thing. And I walk up towards this tunnel, the Jumbo Cove train tunnel. It's a 1,000-foot tunnel blasted through the rocks. It's huge. It stands like, 40, 45 feet high, something like that. It's really wide. I'm walking down there with my camera. I get out of the car, and it rained that day. It was a little cold and stuff like that. It was a fall day. I'm walking towards that tunnel. It's my first time seeing it. I'm looking at it and admiring the architecture and stuff like that. And I get to the threshold, and I'm looking down. Naturally, you're going to want to look down once you get there to the end of the tunnel. And that's when I saw this huge, massive creature come walking from the right side to the left side, and it must have took maybe about 5 or 6 seconds. This thing was walking really slow, and I'm trying to get my camera going. I'm fidgeting with it, trying to open it up, and then the lens is fogged still because it was cool that day. By the time it gets unfogged, the fastest thing I could do is hit the photo button, and I caught an empty train tunnel. I just missed it by a second, and I really kicked my butt for that, because I wish I would have had that camera on as soon as I got out of the car. So I missed it, and I have a photo of an empty tunnel. And what can I say about it? Judging by its size, there's an arch at the top of the tunnel made in concrete for both sides. Appear to be all measured out and made perfectly, and you can see these lines that they use, these boards that they use to form it all the way down, so you could count the marks, and you could base the size of the tunnel and stuff like that. And it was about 3 or 4 feet under this beginning of where the arch starts. And I had a good, long enough look at what this creature was to see the height of it. I went down that end, and there was nothing there. There was not any hair, no footprints, because the footprints, it's solid rock there, like all these crushed rock that's around tracks, railroad tracks. Well, the railroad tracks aren't there anymore. They've taken those out years ago. So I'm down there, I'm looking around. There's where could this thing have went? So I'm looking at the height of this creature, what it would have been. And get this, it was like 17 feet tall. That is strange. I'd never heard of anything, any Sasquatch so big as that at the time. And then I'm looking around and didn't find anything. So it led me to believe that either climb that rock really fast, which leads to the, because both sides of it was blasted through the mountain. It either climbed that or disappeared right into the rock. So that makes me think it could actually be a physical or a spiritual being that did this. And I went back there this year. It was just after the 7-year anniversary of seeing it, by the way. I went down there and I talked about it because when I put out the documentary, a lot of people didn't believe me about the size, but they weren't there. These people were not there. I was alone. I wasn't expecting to see anything like this. I wasn't, I'm going to go there and I'm going to say this and say that. No, I'm not like that. If I don't see something, I'll say it. I didn't see anything. Or if I did, I will say I did. Well, I went back there and talked about that, and I remember there was one guy who said, when one of the big Sasquatch websites shared Sasquatch on Lake Superior, he said he had seen something similar. It was a white being, just like what I saw. There's a white creature about the length of 2 minivans long. That's about 17 feet. He's the only guy that helped defend me out of everyone else that were, naysayers about it. But as time went on, we're a few years later, there's a lot more people that are hearing stories about these giant creatures in the woods now, ones that are bigger than your average, 8-foot Sasquatch. Some even saying 20 feet tall and stuff. I'm not there to defend them. I was never there to see what they saw. All I can say is I know what I saw. And I put that in the documentary, that this is what I saw. It's just straightforward. Take it or leave it. So, yes, I've seen Sasquatch, and I believe it is something physical yet spiritual as well.
17 feet tall is pretty amazing. Usually we hear this creature between 7 and 10 feet tall. Once again, maybe I missed it, but how were you able to measure that it was that tall?
See, there was board forms that created that concrete arch, and you could count the boards that they used to create the entrance and exit or reverse of that on either side of this train tunnel. You could count it. You could look at the lines. And I had a long enough look at this creature to gauge its height. And by the time I went down there, I'm looking at it. I was like, oh, okay, it was right about there, about 3 feet under that arch, about there. And I start taking a look. That's about 17 feet tall is what I saw. That was that day back in 2012 that I saw it. And, yeah. It was
That's
pretty
eerie.
big.
That's
and
eerie.
I told my friend who's First Nation about that, because I told him and I asked him about it one night. It's like, why would, because I had questions, why was this thing white? And he says, maybe it was changing its fur for the season or its coat for the winter. So right there tells me that his belief is that it's a real creature that needs to change its coat for camouflage for the winter. So that's his belief. What else did I ask him that night? Oh, geez, I can't even remember. But yeah, that was the one thing for sure that he had mentioned about it. And yeah, so, but I believe in what I saw, and I wouldn't go on the documentary if I was, making the story up. And it's like what everyone else says, too. When you're never ready when you see these creatures. You're not prepared. What that means is, I'm not going to go out, or what it means is, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go find a Sasquatch. It doesn't work that way. It happens. When everyone seems to see these creatures, they're never ready to see them. It just happens.
when you saw this creature, was it intimidating to you? Did you freeze? What did you go through?
I froze in amazement. It wasn't terrifying like some people say. This creature was too far down anyway to do anything. From what I saw, it just walked by, and I'm just looking at it, trying to open my camera, like, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get a shot of this on video. Well, video didn't work because it's too slow, so I had to hit the camera button instead, the photo, and I still missed it. So, yeah. Also, oh man, it just came, it's late at night and I start forgetting stuff. And there was something else I was going to say about this creature too. And I can't remember what it was.
That's okay. We can continue on here in regards to it. So when you had this amazing experience, and here you are, you're finally getting your own personal proof that it is real, that it is in existence, that it is alive and well. How did your opinion of the creature change after you saw it with your own eyes?
Well, like I said, I've always had an interest and sort of believed in it, but it's never a full-on belief until you actually see it with your own eyes. So that was very eye-opening to actually see something like that and to be in its presence and stuff like that. So, a lot of people become afraid to see such things, but I'm remembering now what the guy said. I asked him, why did I see it? And he says, this was not something normal that you saw. You hear about Sasquatch. That's not normal, but this is really not normal, he said. He said, this was a form of a blessing meant for you and only you. It was a gift from Zabe. So very interesting.
Extremely. Extremely.
Mm-hmm.
And how did it, we only got about 30 seconds left before we take a break here. How did it change you?
Well, it definitely changed me. I'm out there making documentaries about it now, and I got, so many views on this stuff, and I believe it's made me a better storyteller as well, because when you're into filmmaking, you have to be a storyteller.
Very true. Very true. Dee, you hold on here. We're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Filmmaker, documentarian Dee McCullay is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We're talking monsters, Bigfoot. We're going to get into some paranormal in a little bit here, but stay tuned. Dee is going to stick with us for another hour. We got him, and I'm excited about that. We'll be back with more Spaced Out Radio right after this.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Finish off your weekend and kick off your new week with me, Everett Themer, right here on Spaced Out Sundays. I'm going to bring you great guests, a little bit of snark, and plenty of information to think about. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of woo as well. We are going to hit everything in the paranormal and supernatural, including the odd psychic Sundays. So tune us in on Sunday, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Great to have you with us. Reminder to all of you that if you missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. And tonight, we're talking Sasquatch, monsters. Filmmaker out of Ontario, Canada, Dee McCullay is with us. And right before the break, we were talking Sasquatch, what it was. Do you believe that there is something a little supernatural with this creature? You know, even though you've had your own personal experience with it, why do you believe there is some sort of supernatural ability to it and it's just not North America's great ape?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, just because, you know, when I saw what I saw, it either did two things. It either went up the rock face, scurried up the rock face, or it disappeared into the rock, one or the other. I remember Matt Moneymaker was talking about a story that he was hot on the heels of a Sasquatch, and he was chasing after it, and he said it had rounded a corner. It was just behind it. And then, because he's following these tracks, and they're like right there, he could see it once in a while, and he's chasing it, rounds his corner, and the thing is just gone. Just the footsteps just disappear. There has got to be something to this creature. I don't know how it does this, how it would just disappear like that. You know, it's one of those things that in the paranormal that will actually leave evidence behind. You know, people could take castings of these footprints and stuff. So it's one of those really cool things that you can actually show other people. And yeah, I believe this creature has the ability to disappear into thin air and or act like a chameleon or something like that. But there's got to be something spiritual or other level to it. They pass through portals, maybe ancient native portals. Maybe that's what it is. And they seem to know all the doors. They know all the tricks.
It always makes me wonder why there is so much questioning regarding that. I realize for the majority of people out there, they may not buy into the whole woo factor that there could be something supernatural with this creature or supernatural with anything if we go down those lines, which I think is a fair argument and assessment. You know, but at certain points, do you not have to just say, you know, this is where the evidence has taken us. This is where we think it goes. And really there's, until we prove what this creature is, there is no other type of assessment. Would you agree with that? Or do you think that we're still quite far off?
Right now, how would I say it? I don't believe there's anything in scientific custody that they can say that this is definitely the creature. And, you know, there's nothing like that. I don't believe. Yeah, it's going to have to remain a paranormal mystery right now until somebody actually has an actual body on them, even if they're not a scientist or anything. But here's the problem with finding a body. Is that, especially around here, we have such great forests and deep forests, you know, forests where you could barely walk 3 feet because of thicket. You'll never find a body. You know, Lake Superior is a huge lake, and you could fit Lake Superior 12 times into the size of Ontario. And that's freaking huge. You know, we can't even find missing people out of, you know, maybe even a mile in the woods for years, you know. So how are we ever going to find a Sasquatch body? Another thing what it comes down to is, say if one of these creatures dies, where does the body go? It either gets eaten by animals immediately, or maybe they die in hard-to-reach places like caves and rocks and fissures, high up in cliffs and stuff like that. Or maybe they go into underground caves to die and stuff. So until someone actually finds a body, there is no proof. These things are going to remain supernatural. Skeptics will always be there to say, well, there's nothing that really what's this proving? You know, one guy said that he had had a body in his freezer, and it turned out to be, what was it, animal parts all
it was some
together,
kind of animal
like
parts put together. Well, you know, it doesn't surprise me that it's not that they're having troubles finding it in Ontario. I mean, every Leaf fan out there has been trying to find the Stanley Cup for 52 years. So, I mean, it doesn't really surprise me. No, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Right. And and I say that with all due respect to the rest of the hockey world who gets to laugh at that. But nonetheless, when it comes to Bigfoot, I think there is more of a chance of finding Bigfoot than the Leafs winning the Cup, man. And I'm happy to say that. I really am happy to say that. It feels good. It feels right, man.
Yeah. My dad's sitting here laughing about that. He's a Leafs fan, but he thought that was pretty funny. But here's the thing about the Leafs fans, too, is that they really latch on. They really believe in their team, you know. And they won't let go.
It is a disease.
And it's the same thing
it really is.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with us Sasquatch believers. We're the same way.
Well, you know, I believe more in Sasquatch than I do. Oh, God, this is why I love being a West Coast guy, because I know right now, like, we have listeners tuning on in. I'm checking Twitter right now because I got one Leaf fan out there who would go absolutely crazy when he hears this. He will. But, you know, anytime, here we go. It's on the Space Travelers Club. When did the Canucks last win a cup? They haven't. But I would sooner not have won one than been bragging about one since 1967. If you want to go down that, let's do this. We can do this. You know? Oh. Bill Barilko has passed away. Let it go. The Tragically Hip, let it go. Everybody else can too. Anyways, I can get into hockey, no problem. I used to cover hockey back in my journalism days, so, you know, it's very easy for me to all of a sudden snap and go into that category. Okay, back to Bigfoot here. And no, we're not cheering for the Habs either. Not cheering for the Habs either.
Can I tell a funny little story about hockey real quick?
Sure, I'd love it.
Yeah, I had watched the kids play hockey kind of thing, you know, one of those scrub games or something like that. But prior to the game, actually, I'm going to tell the same story, but what happened later on. I was on a bus in Thunder Bay, and I was talking to someone about watching this hockey game. These kids, they come out on the ice and they're falling down and they're sliding around and tripping and all kinds of stuff. Look like they're just having a great time. And then this guy chimes in that was listening to me a couple seats over. He says, "Ha ha, just like the Maple Leafs."
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, that was funny.
Anytime you could get a shot. See, our American listeners are like, oh my God, they've gone Canadian. They've gone Canadian on us, and we don't understand this hockey stuff. You know, even though, you know, there's teams everywhere, they don't understand, but it's okay. We'll school you on it. We'll school you on it. All right? You have to understand the hatred that the majority of the country has for the Toronto Maple Leafs. You just have to understand it. Anyways, moving on here, getting back to the whole Bigfoot side of everything. That was fun. Thank you for doing that. This creature is something that has been spotted literally all across North America. There isn't a place in North America, save for maybe the metropolitan areas, where it hasn't been seen. Do you believe that this creature is docile, or do you believe what many believe, that it is a wild animal that, and I say that facetiously, whether it is or not, we don't know, but there are a lot of people who believe that there is some very big danger towards this creature and that it might be taking people, namely women?
Yeah, okay. I had something in my head to say about that, but I'm going to go back to a very old story from this area that actually covers that. Just this place that the natives used to live at before they lived at Lake Helen Reserve. There's a place called Parmachene. It was up the famous Nipigon River. Well, it turns out this Hudson's Bay Company guy, the fur trader guy, came there and started questioning them about furs and stuff like that, and asked why this settlement here and stuff. Well, according to them, this very old story, they had an older story yet that they were up at a place called, what we call Parmachine now. They originally lived up there, and they were out trapping in the woods and stuff like that, and doing what they can to survive. And for some reason, they encountered some kind of strange creature up there, and it ended up following them home. So things start happening where there's rock throwing and banging on dwellings and stuff, and they called the creature the Monzo Khan, which basically is an evil being or a bad spirit, what they said. And this spirit was getting so emboldened that it was even spiritually going into houses and taking stuff. And then at one point, this girl got kidnapped from there, and they noticed one of their number was missing, but they were too scared to go after it right away, so they sent a search party the next day. They went into the deep woods looking for it, and they could hear screams from this missing girl. And they encounter her, and she's running back through the woods towards them. She's covered in mosquito bites. She's scratched up from all the trees. Like I said, there's some deep thicket out here. And she made it back. They took her back to the settlement, and that's what she said, that the creature had taken her. She didn't run away. This creature had kidnapped her that night. So they were really getting scared. They didn't know what to do. And then what it came down to was we might have to fight this creature or just leave. They're settled there. It's a settlement. They don't want to leave. But what are we going to do? Well, the next thing that happens, this creature was enraged, throwing rocks at the dwellings and stuff like that, and it actually ended up killing one of their number. So basically, it murdered a person, and that was the last straw. What else could they do? They really didn't want to fight whatever being this thing was, especially if it had the ability to enter their homes and had the ability to kill people. So each of them sailed down the Nipigon River out into Lake Helen, crossed over from there, and that's where they made their new settlement by the time the Hudson's Bay Company found them there. That was their story. And the weird thing is, when you watch the documentary, you'll hear a guy named Pat McGuire who lived on that reservation. And he's telling stories about these Sasquatch that are over there now at Lake Helen. There's a few stories like that. So this creature must have had descendants, and it's still in that area. It followed them across a lake. It followed them. Very strange. So there we go with a kidnapping and stuff like that as well. Strange.
I have heard stories out of Ontario, because for people who've never really been to Ontario or studied Ontario, it is literally lake country. Everywhere you turn, there's a lake. I mean, you fly over Ontario, you don't see a lot of towns unless you're in the Metro Toronto area, but all you see is lake after lake after lake. It's amazing, and it is beautiful. Unfortunately, once again, they do have the Maple Leafs, but that's for another discussion once again. But the point is, there's a lot of people who still enjoy cottage life in Ontario. And that's been going on for decades, ever since Ontario was settled. And for those who are experiencing that cottage life, how come do you think we're not seeing more reports from people in those areas when they're literally right in the middle of the forest for most of their summer?
Mm-hmm. I think the Sasquatch are simply not there. When it comes down to, they'll defend their territory. They don't want people in their vicinity. They protect the waters from industry and stuff. They'll stay away from people if they have to, but they also defend themselves if they have to. But when it comes to campers and stuff like that, I believe they'll try to keep their distance from them.
You'd think there'd be more sightings, though, coming out. You really do. Or audio, which came out last fall of that Sasquatch, roaring in the forests. I believe it was around North Bay, which is in the northwestern part of the province.
Oh, yeah, that was the Sioux Lookout creature,
Yes.
wasn't it? Yeah. They asked me my opinion because I'm the, paranormal guy up in this whole area. And that was the radio, Rock 94, that asked me about that, what my thoughts were on it. And I thought, well, it's probably a bear or maybe a lynx or something that's out there making a sound. I wish it was a Sasquatch. I hope it was a Sasquatch. But unfortunately, the people that recorded it didn't go investigating. So what it comes down to is everyone is right with their answer because there's been no investigation into it. They could have walked into the forest, tried to find the source at least, but they didn't. But still a great source of audio anyway.
I think the whole fear may have had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Cannot blame them for that.
Yeah. I often say that, I would go look, but maybe when it comes down to it, if it's actually happening, maybe I wouldn't. The weird thing is about hearing these sounds, I'd even forgotten about this until that video came out. And my mother had mentioned, we heard that sound. What? What do you mean we heard that sound? Yeah, that same exact sound. Don't you remember? I'm sitting there, what are you talking about? Down at the Black Sturgeon Dam. This place is only like 2 kilometers away, 3 kilometers away. At the Black Sturgeon Dam, Grandma was out there hunting, and there was someone else with her too. She's out there, we're all sitting in the car, and there's this loud screaming going on. It sounded exactly like that, she said. And my grandma, she was the type of person that is a hunter. Nothing really scares her. She's out there hunting. Well, she came running back to the car. That's all I remembered of it. Seeing my grandma come running to the car saying, and we're all saying, let's get out of here. My parents are all saying, let's get out of here. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess I was too young to remember that. But when my mom heard that video, that's what she said. And it all, came back to me. That I was there during a Sasquatch audible encounter anyway. That I was just too young to remember, but definitely remember fleeting images of that time now.
I have had one encounter with a Sasquatch that roared at me, and I've seen the creature, so I'm a big believer in it. But I'll tell you, seeing the creature did not scare me. Hearing it roar scared the daylights out of me, man. Scared the daylights out of me. And I could tell you this, there is nothing more fearful than hearing this absolute shriek of a roar that sounds like screaming combined with anger. And it is freaky. And I don't blame anybody who says we got to get the hell out of here in order to, save some bacon or, save ourselves or whatever it may be. I mean, it is intimidating and it's, I wish I could explain it better. I really do, because it's one of the freakiest things I have ever heard.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's this couple people up here last year that were over at the, we'll say the landfill, the dump out here. And that's right beside the Black Sturgeon Dam. Just down that hill is where we heard that sound when we were younger. But these people were sitting there 2 a.m. wintertime, probably around this time of year, maybe a little later. But they were listening to this blood-curdling, these screams. She said it sounded like someone getting slaughtered, but it sounded like crazy or wild. It sounded like a really bassy tone, and that's what she told me the next day about it. That she thinks she heard a Sasquatch over there. So what I did was set up my recorders trying to catch it, and guess what happened? Nothing.
Of course.
Yeah, of course, right?
Never that lucky. Never that lucky. That's like I have people in my little community where I live, and I'm getting the reputation where people are starting to call me the ghost guy, and or the paranormal guy or whatever, and I'm okay with that. I mean, hey, if it gets me some cool stories, I'm very okay with that. And long story short, I'm at the hockey rink the other day with my son watching him play. And all of a sudden, hey, ghost guy, we need to talk to you for a second. Have you heard any weird sounds in this area? I'm like, no. And I'm like, well, and starts telling me about this incident of, these people freaking out at their cabin. And I'm like, well, when did this happen? Oh, this was like 5 years ago. I'm like, no, don't tell me 5 years ago. I need to know recent.
Now.
Recent.
Exactly.
I want the recent stuff. I don't want this 5 years ago stuff, man. And that's the unfortunate part. Is you can't really trace something down from 5 years previous. It's kind of difficult.
Exactly. There's one guy that messaged me, and I thank him for messaging me about it, but it was 11 days late. He said he was down at the Black Sturgeon Dam with his family, and there was a couple other people. And that's when they witnessed a creature come running out of the woods, it's black, jumps into the water, comes up on its hind legs holding a stick, and ran across the rocks. Why did he wait so long? He could have told me. I would have been down there like that day. People know I do this, but why do they wait so long? Maybe they just worry about what others might say and stuff. And, I need to know now when this stuff's happening.
Oh, I hear you. It's one of the most difficult things that we have to deal with, man. It's one of the most difficult things we have to deal with because we want it now. We want to be able to help, but you can't help if you're not given the help.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that is the truth about that. We only got about 25 seconds here before we got to go to break at the top of the hour. Dee McCullay is our guest tonight, talking monsters. I think when we come back, we're going to get into some paranormal stories here because Dee is also a paranormal investigator. He doesn't like the term ghost hunter, so we're not going to call him that. Or maybe we'll make fun of him like we did. Yeah, maybe we'll make fun of you like we did the Leaf fans, and you never know. Dee, you hold on. We are going to go into a break here. Dee McCullay, our guest. Let's talk some ghosts. Maybe some of your questions as well when we come back. For hour number 3 on Spaced Out Radio at the bottom of the hour, we will also have the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day to take us home for the weekend. Talk to you in a second.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chide and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Hello everyone, this is Ryan Stacy from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightlines Report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines Report on the Spaced Out Radio website and let's figure out what's going on together.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at Kajans.com.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thielen. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today. We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
We're underway in the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. Hi to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates, KDNF AM 1560 in Dangerfield, Texas, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, and UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans. On the digital side, we give a shout out to everybody listening in on Revolution Radio and Kingdom of Nye Radio. Thank you for joining us. Remember, all of our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Ubeek. Ubeek is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault, grab a great book from We Read the Night. Join the Space Travelers for $5 a month, and Captain Shirk has you all up to date on the SOR Newswire, which is updated daily. For the final time tonight, we bring in documentary filmmaker Dee McCullay. We're going to get into the paranormal with him now because he is a paranormal investigator in Thunder Bay, Ontario. Dee, welcome back to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
What made you decide to hunt ghosts?
Well, ever since I was a kid, I've had these strange paranormal occurrences in my life and no real explanations for them other than being ghosts, being spirits, being, people that have passed on. And it's always been something that's been there with me since I was 8 years old. And if I go back to one of the stories I had mentioned earlier about the rapping on the windows, if you guys haven't listened to that part, go back and check it out at the beginning. I'm going to continue the last portion of that story, which I forgot to mention, was that I was starting to dread these heavy, heavy raps on the windows. It was like almost like bony knuckles that were about to break the window. It's just rap, 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 stuff like that. And I had asked around, and no one had owned up to it, saying, "Oh yeah, it was me playing a joke." Ha ha. No, there's people. Why would I be out there at that time? I'm sleeping, or why would I even do that? Stuff like that. So no real answer for it. So I asked my cousin, who lived just down the road, "Come on over. This is what's going on." And he's like, "Yeah, right. No, just come over and we'll see if it happens again." Well, he's over there and we're watching Three Stooges or something like that. This is probably around 11:30, between 11:30 and 1 at night, something like that. Well, sure enough, here it goes. Rap, 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 rap. And I'm like, "See, I told you." So we open up the window in the basement. We open it up and we climb out immediately. There's no one around. We both take two directions. I'll go this way, you go that way. Run around the yard. We have a giant yard. We did the whole round and came back to the house. There was no one out here. But there we go. He experienced it as well, and he has no explanation for it whatsoever. And he was at first skeptical, but now he does believe there was something there that did that. Another story about him, too, just living 2 houses down at the time, and this goes back to the late 80s. He's playing outside as a child. He's playing outside, and there's this little girl that comes and plays with him. And they're playing for a while. And finally, his dad says, all right, time to come in the house here. Come and eat. And he turns around and says, I got to go eat. Well, I guess he turned around to go talk to her, and there was no one standing there. And then his dad says, who are you trying to talk to? So, there was just a little girl here. There was no one there. So who was my cousin playing with? It leads us back to the story of in the same area where I'm riding my bike down the road and get that girl scream at me. Very strange stuff. There was nothing there, but something screamed at me, and it was terrifying.
My goodness. That would be totally spine-chilling to have something like that happen. Totally spine-chilling. I got to ask you, in regards to your ghost hunting, what are you trying to solve?
I'm trying to prove the existence of ghosts. I'm trying to do it artistically as well, that someone, my stuff is worth watching. There's a lot of stuff out there that you could question it, and you can even look at it. Why am I watching this garbage? It looks terrible. It sounds terrible. The stuff I had put out was actually, watchable. It was like a TV show that I was working on, which just didn't get picked up. But it was popular. But yeah, that's what I was trying to prove, was the existence of ghosts. I wanted people. We were in the newspaper there for the Edge of Dread Paracon from last year. I put on a Paracon, Thunder Bay's first Paracon. And we were in the paper for it, and that was the headline. They're not crazy. Reason why is because that's what I was talking about. I've investigated places in Thunder Bay for people, and what I had said in the quote was that I wanted people to know that they're not crazy. There are spiritual beings out there in these houses that some people are scared to talk about, or they want answers and stuff. Well, I'm there to provide the answers, hopefully. But I'm a truthful person, too, that if there's nothing in your house, I'll tell you straight, you got nothing. But if there is and I can prove it to them, well, that's something for them to believe. But then again, some people think they want their house investigated. Then when you do it, they start thinking maybe I shouldn't have, because they got to live with it now. They know what's in their house. So it's you got to kind of balance that out, kind of thing, when you're wondering what's in your house. Should I call a paranormal investigator over and stuff? Because some of these places, some of these people that go out, they're fly-by-night kind of paranormal investigators and stir stuff up, and then they get to leave. But and you got to live with it. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you got to live with what's been stirred up in your house, what's been awoken. That reminds me of, I was on Paranormal Survivor, Season 3, Episode 9, Terrifying Visions. It was a story about, it took place in Thunder Bay, actually, but on the show, it says that I was on Sault Ste. Marie. Well, this was in 2009, and we had just moved into this nice apartment. It was an apartment complex that had a outside hallway, like an external hallway. That's very important, that. And then we had an internal hallway in our apartment, which led, you walk through the door. There's the computer room, kitchen, dining room. There's the living room right in front of you. Down our internal hallway, there's 2 bedrooms, a bathroom at the end. Well, after a while, we started noticing, like, thuds, the bangs on the walls. And, it's got, in the external hallway, it's got to be people, just moving boxes or something like that. So that went on for a while. And then next came the knocks. There's like little knocks on the external walls, like a knock, 1 or 2, something like that. And, it's got to be people. It's got to be people. Just, our neighbors, doing whatever out in the hallway. And next time we start getting those knocks inside of our apartment, no explanation for it. We get a knock, behind us on the couch and stuff like that. And it's like, that is weird. And like, what could be doing that? And then we start getting scratches in the walls. It started to get worse. You'd hear like scraping on the walls, but inside you go into another room. There's no reason for it. Never seen mice, never seen rats, never seen weasel, never seen anything in there like that. Very clean place. But we were getting scratches in the walls, and we couldn't figure out what was happening. So we'd be sitting on the couch sometimes, and we'd be watching TV. Well, we did a lot of watching TV. Rather than going out and partying, we took care of ourselves and took care of my son. We'd stay at home. We'd watch a lot of TV, and just on the opposite side of the wall, just like a wall there, and there's the cupboards in the tiny kitchen. And this is right behind our TV. Well, we start noticing the sound of cups sliding around in the cupboards. And then plates. This is over time. Cups and plates moving around. And then starting to smash against the cupboard walls and stuff. So you get up and go, look, it's got to be the neighbors on the opposite side of the wall. It's got to be the neighbors making this noise. But no, it turns out you could tell it's in our apartment, that sound. It was too clear to be on the other side, a muffled sound. It had to have been in ours. You'd hear them smashing up against the sides of the walls. You go look in the cupboard, and there was like nothing had changed in there. Everything was set the way we had put stuff. So that was very weird. And then next came the cupboard doors opening and closing. You'd hear it. You'd hear them close. You'd have them shut. They must have opened. They slammed shut. So whatever this thing it was getting more bold over time. And then next thing you know, like 2 a.m, you'd be, because I was starting to not sleep. So I'd be up watching, movies and stuff like that. And you'd hear children running up and down the halls, like 2 a.m, the external hallway. And eventually I was like, oh, I'm going to catch these kids. Like, who the heck is doing this? There's no one else in that apartment. Just like with kids, it's just us. We were getting blamed for it. I have a baby, and the other, she doesn't run around the house. There was no reason for this stuff. We're getting blamed for it. It wasn't us making that noise. And I even tried to catch it. And you'd open the door and look around. There's no one out there making that sound. Sometimes you'd open the door to the external hallway, and you'd almost see like a mist on the ceiling. Strange mist. And then you get the feeling of being watched all the time. Like, this was getting bad. It was getting real bad. Where it seemed like there was, no matter what you did, you couldn't get away from it. There was someone, almost like your hair would be standing on end. When whatever this thing was, it would come around. Your hair would stand on end. And then it's almost like you're getting screamed at. You walk into a place where someone had just argued, and the energy doesn't seem right. It feels off.
Yes.
And you sense that, and then sure enough, people are fighting. Well, you get this feeling as well. Almost like there's someone screaming in your face, but you can't hear anything, just silence. So that was happening. And then this oppressive feeling of dread, and you could almost feel like a hatred towards you. You'd have a good day at work, come home, girlfriend's good, everything's good, but there's this feeling that's constantly there when you're in the apartment that you can't get away from. And she noticed that as well. It was, we both noticed all this stuff. And other times it seemed like you couldn't breathe, almost like something had its hands pressed against your chest or around your neck. There's like no air. You'd open the windows, summertime, it's so hot in there. You'd open the windows. That's great. But the problem was we had a murder of crows come sit outside our apartment. Right in the trees, hundreds of crows, squawking, cawing, making all kinds of noises. And when I think of crows, I think of death. I think of, death, basically. So we started to get very concerned that something bad was about to happen. It was almost like a sign when these crows showed up. We didn't know what to do. And after that, we started having shadows in the apartment. And they'd always be in the corner of your eye. So you'd be sitting there watching something on TV, and next thing you'd notice there's something standing there, and you turn and look, and it's gone. You'd whip your head around as fast as you can. There'd be nothing there. My brother came to visit one time at the apartment. He visited a couple times, but I remember this one time, his first time coming to the apartment. He comes through the front door, goes up the steps to the floor we were on. And as soon as he opened that door, he says all his hair raised on his arms and neck, as if there was something there, something that he couldn't see, something that was really bad. And he came into the apartment, and he mentioned that right away. He said, yeah, there's something going on here. I don't know what it is. We're being haunted. It's something bad. He sat down, and he's looking at the baby on the swing, my son. He's on a motorized swing. And it's almost like my son was looking at something approaching down the hall. He could see his head starting to move up as if he's staring at this tall being coming up, because my brother's sitting down in front of him. And my brother turns and looks, and there's nothing there. And he swears that my son looked like he saw someone approaching. So, yeah, there was always the shadows in there. And then there was the bed. The bed started vibrating at night. Very weird. You'd lay down on the bed, and there was really high-frequency shakes on the bed. And that was really weird. Everything was always seemed to be alive almost, with some kind of, I don't know, like biological, I don't know what, like an electricity. Those beds were actually shaking. Very minute, but you could feel the shakes, the vibrations. Then that's when we started noticing, too, the scurrying shadows and things. Be sleeping, my girlfriend would wake up and she's crying, and, oh, what's wrong? There was these, I saw the shadow come scurrying across the ceiling, down the wall by the bed and stuff, and she's, crying about that. And by that time, I'm almost completely worn right down by this haunting. I was starting to barely get any sleep, too. And then I saw it as well. It came out of the closet, one of these long shadows, almost like a pool noodle, long black shadow. It just came out of the closet and scurried under the bed. I didn't know what to do, but I went and looked. I was so scared to see what this thing could be, because I'd never been through anything like this before. And I'm slowly looking under the bed, and I find nothing but dust bunnies. So I was like, oh, we got to clean. We got to sweep under this bed, babe. But, yeah, we were seeing stuff like that. And then one night we saw, like, this weird wreath on the wall. It was just on the wall. It was like brown, and it was made out of twisted sticks. And the weird thing, too, was it had two snakes that were standing up, and their heads were facing each other. And she's like, do you see that? I said, yeah, I see that. And then it faded into the wall. And I went and finally got up and looked and felt the wall, and there's nothing there and stuff like that. But the weird thing was there was a nail hole, almost as if where you would hang something like that. So what went on in that apartment? I don't know. Maybe something had to do with the occult or something. Then came the flickering lights. The lights were always flickering. There was nothing wrong with the electrical, but the lights were flickering. Even incandescent bulbs were flickering, just like a fluorescent would, stuff like that, and tested it, and there was nothing wrong. And then the nightmares came. I was getting nightmares every night, and I remember dreaming about my son, who came crawling towards me in this dream. He's crawling, and his head was upside down, and he was crying, and that scared the hell out of me. And I remember my heart was going boop, 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 like that, so fast I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I was losing weight. It was really, really a terrible haunting. And then one night, the bathroom door opens by itself. I opened that door. I was scared as hell. I opened the door, and there was nothing in there but a flickering light. And then finally, July 1st, 2010, My girlfriend had a nose job done. She wanted to get her nose worked on. So, okay.
Right.
She had to stay elevated at night, so put her on the couch there. Okay, just sleep there, and I'll see you in the morning and stuff. Went to sleep. Wake up to a blood-curdling scream the next morning, and then a swear. And then I hear praying and crying. I wake up, look at the time. It was the weirdest thing. It was 7:10 in the morning on July 1st, 2010. Very weird. I get on my clothes, open that door, go down the hallway, and the air was electric. I went in there. She's crying, and I'm trying to console her. What happened? What happened? I know we're running out of time, so I'm trying to shorten the story. And she says, basically, what it came down to was she saw this black dog come running down the hallway, but it was standing up. And it had baby legs, human baby legs, and was black. And it had horns. And it had almond-shaped eyes like an alien. They were black. And as it ran by, all the shadows in the room shifted in that early morning light in the shadows. They all shifted and it ran around the dining room and the kitchen into the dining room right beside her. And that's when it smiled at her and it disappeared. And, we had things go on for a long time after that until we left. I could tell the story for like an hour, but I did the real short version of it as I realized we're running out of time. But that was one of the stories.
That's incredible. Yep. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Dee, we only have about 1 minute left with you tonight, and I want to say thank you for coming on Spaced Out Radio. Can you let everybody know where they could find your documentary work so that way they could check it out for themselves?
Sure, you could find it at Dee McCullay Dark History Thunderstriker Films on YouTube. You could also find me on Twitter at Dee McCullay, at Instagram at Dee McCullay, and Facebook, Dee McCullay Dark History. That's my verified public page. And also check out my website, dmccullay.com.
That is absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight, man. That was a lot of fun.
It was. Thank you so much.
I'm glad your dad got to chime in, too.
Yeah, he's still laughing.
Good. Oh, no problem. Hey, good luck in your future ghost hunts and keep making the films.
Thank you. I hope to be on again soon.
Absolutely, my friend. That was a lot of fun tonight. Dee McCullay, everybody. Make sure you check out his documentaries as well. Coming up next on Spaced Out Radio, as we turn the corner into the final half hour of my week, we got the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day coming up. Stay tuned. More Spaced Out Radio after this.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thielen. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans, it's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from vans to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
we've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it as you end your week tuning us in. Reminder that if you've missed most of this show or others, you could check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault. You can grab a great book from We Read the Night. Join the Space Travelers for $5 a month, and Captain Shirk has you all up to date on the SOR Newswire. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show. We'll get to the weird, the strange, and sometimes the good stuff every now and again. I want to start off with something a little selfish here. I hope you all don't mind. But I want to wish a happy birthday to my daughter. Yes, my baby girl at 12:59 p.m., January 17th, 1999, was born, making me a daddy for the first time. And I got to say to my sweetheart, I love you. I'm so proud of you. You're 21 years old now, and the woman you have become has been incredible, and thank you for allowing me to be on that journey. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to see my child grow up and become a young lady now, and she's smart, she's brilliant, and a little weird like her old man. So that's kind of cool, too. Very cool. So I hope she has a great birthday out there. So thanks for letting me be a little selfish there for a second. All right. I'm a little upset with the South Koreans here. This may cause a bitter trade war, if not World War III, at least in my eyes. All right. As relations between the United States and South Korea fray, the American ambassador to the country is brushing off criticism because of his absolutely beautiful mustache. Oh, yeah. Harry Harris has the lip blade of power. Okay, this thing is gorgeous. All right, he's a retired Navy admiral, but apparently in South Korea, they've been upset that he's carrying this power lip blade since he became U.S. ambassador there in 2018. To some South Koreans, it evokes memories of Japanese colonial rule over the country from 1910 until 1945. Those who feel affronted say the lip blade is reminiscent of the mustaches worn by Japanese governor generals in that era. Mr. Harris, the son of a United States Navy officer and a Japanese mother, has previously raised tensions by demanding that South Korea pay more for hosting U.S. troops. But speaking to reporters on Thursday, he suggested the criticism stemmed from his heritage. My mustache, for some reason, has become a point of some fascination here, he says. I have been criticized in the media here, especially in social media, because of my ethnic background, because I am Japanese American. Mr. Harris has been the U.S. ambassador at a time of heightened tensions between South Korea and Japan. Those tensions were inflamed in November 2018 when South Korean court rulings ordered Japanese films to pay compensation to Koreans over forced labor during World War II. Then, in August 2019, Japan announced it was going to remove South Korea's favored trade partner status, deepening the acrimony. In the context of these disputes, Mr. Harris's mustache caught in the middle and his Japanese heritage have become more controversial. In an interview with a local radio station, a ruling party lawmaker compared him with a governor general of the Japanese government during the colonial period. That sentiment was echoed by the Korean Times, which last month said his mustache has become associated with the latest U.S. image of being disrespectful and even coercive towards Korea. Harris often has been ridiculed for not being an ambassador, but a governor general. The thought. Yeah, World War II-era Japanese military leaders such as Hideki Tojo, Sadao Araki, and Shunroku Hata all supported those type of lip blades. But So too did other regional generals. Yes, in fact, it was a common style worn by a number of regional leaders at the time. Professor Nikki Alsford, co-director of the International Institute of Korean Studies at the University of Central Lancashire, says, therefore, it seems the sentiment is largely down to this Mr. Harris's Japanese heritage. You know what, Mr. Harris? I'm going to tell you right now. Do not shave that power stash. Do not shave it. Show them who's boss with that lip blade, man. Show them who is boss. All right. Starting to figure out here why sharks may be upset. Millions of sharks in the world's oceans may have fish hooks stuck inside of them with potentially serious health consequences, research indicates. A team of scientists observed 55 individual tiger sharks for 8 years off the coast of Tahiti in the South Pacific, finding that 38% of them had been hooked by fishing gear at least once during this period. Worryingly, the team found that some of these hooks stayed in place for years and could potentially remain for their entire lifetime of the shark. That can have profound consequences for the animals. It can injure and even perhaps kill them because they are unable to feed properly after those interactions. Carl Mayer, the author of the study from the University of Hawaii, the team said it was common for sharks to have more than one hook embedded in their bodies at any one time. They even observed one shark with 7 deeply wedged hooks and another with 6. The researchers said many tiger sharks get hooked by fishery targeting tuna and swordfish using long lines. Long lines are lines that have multiple baited hooks from tens to up to several thousand and are set either on the seabed or mid-water supported by floats. They typically are left in place for several hours, then hauled in to recover the catch. The high seas long line fisheries, primarily targets high-value tunas and swordfish, but also bycatch other non-target species, including sharks. In most cases, the fishers do not want to catch sharks. The sharks are simply attracted to the same bait as the target species or to the hooked target species themselves. If the hooked sharks are often able to break the line by biting it or are cut loose by fishermen without them removing the hook. After these interactions, sharks may swim away with hooks embedded in their stomachs, throats, mouths, and externally around their jaws or elsewhere on the body. And it may also be trailing a line from those hooks. From the latest study, Mayer and his team observed 55 sharks at an ecotourism site off the north coast of Tahiti between 2011 and 2019. Yeah. You know what they should do, honestly? There's an easy way around this. What you have to do is you have to make it illegal to barb hooks. If you don't barb the hook, the fish has a better chance of getting away. And if the line snaps and the hook is still in the fish's mouth, it can easily come out. So it's not the fish hook, it's the barb. Got to go barbless. Barbless is the way to go. At least that's my opinion on this. All right, let's get to another story here. Where are we here? This one's not really opening up too well. All right, well, we're going to have to skip that one. Just going to have to skip that one. All right. A New Zealand family whose home was repeatedly targeted by a burglar who stole only fish food set up a security camera and identified the culprit. It was a neighborhood cat. Mark Spooner of Auckland said a friend was taking care of the family's fish while they were out of town, and the fish sitter soon noticed an unusual problem. Our friend was confused because she would leave the container of fish flakes on the bench at night, and in the morning, it would be gone. She found more fish food in the cupboard, but the same thing happened again. We had no idea what was going on. Spooner said the family returned home and found themselves awakened in the middle of the night by a sound in the kitchen. We actually thought there was someone in the house and looked around everywhere. Then we went into the kitchen and the fish food was gone. The family set up a security camera to catch the culprit in the act. We heard another noise early hours of the morning and went and checked the footage. And there it was, a video of this lovely-looking white fluffy cat on the bench, Spooner said. He said the cat had apparently been able to shove its way through the cat door despite it being secured with a magnetic lock. Spooner said the family is trying to find the cat's owner to prevent future feline break-ins in their home. The cat is not the smallest thief to make headlines in recent weeks. A squirrel was caught on camera stealing a package from the front porch of a Los Angeles home. The San Pedro neighborhood resident said a witness out walking spotted the squirrel fleeing with the package and returned it to the sender. All right, moving on here. A Michigan man who noticed something amiss about a couch that he just bought from a thrift store found more than $40,000 stashed inside a cushion. Howard Kirby said he bought the couch from the Habitat for Humanity Restore in Owasso and used it to make his man cave a little bit more comfortable for a few weeks before deciding to investigate why the foot cushion was unusually firm. Kirby's daughter-in-law opened up the cushion and discovered bundles of cash totaling $43,170. Kirby said a lawyer told him he would be within his rights to keep the cash, but he decided to contact the store to see if they could identify the couch's original owner. The money was presented Thursday to Kim Foth Newberry, who recently deceased grandfather was the original owner of the furniture. She said her family had no idea he had such a large amount of cash stashed away. Foth Newberry said the story almost could have had a different ending. Her family had considered burning the couch if they couldn't find a thrift store to accept it. Oh, my goodness. You know, I hope that money went to a good place. Candy maker Mars Wrigley has set a new Guinness World Record by producing a massive Snickers bar weighing in at 4,728 pounds. The company said the Snickers bar, unveiled this past week at the Mars Wrigley plant in Waco, measured 12 feet long, 24 inches high, and 26 inches wide. The candy bar is the equivalent of 43,000 regular-sized Snickers bars. Guinness confirmed the gargantuan confection met the record-keeping organization's requirements to capture the record for the world's largest chocolate nut bar. The requirements state the bar must be at least 80% chocolate, and the nuts and the entire bar must be fit for human consumption. Mars Wrigley said the giant Snickers bar will feature in an ad that will premiere during the Super Bowl February 2nd. All right, moving on. A TSA agent whipped the braids of a Native American woman and yelled, "Giddy up!" during a security check at Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport, according to the woman and the Federal Transportation Security Administration. Going through a TSA at MS Airport, the agent said she needed to pat down my braids. She pulled them up behind my ears, laughed, and said, "Giddy up," as she snapped my braids like reins, Tara Hauska said on Twitter. When I informed the middle-aged blonde woman who had casually used her authority to dehumanize and disrespect me, she said, "Well, it was just in fun. I'm sorry, your hair is lovely." "That is not an apology, and it is not okay," Hauska added. "My hair is part of my spirit. I am a Native woman. I am angry, humiliated. Your fun hurt." Cliff Van Leuven, the TSA's federal security director in Minnesota, confirmed in an email sent to TSA employees at the airport that the incident did happen. In the news last night and today, you've likely seen or heard of a TSA officer at MSP who was insensitive in screening the long braided hair of a Native American passenger Monday morning. Did it actually happen? Yes, exactly as described. Yes, said the email, which was shared with NBC News. Van Leuven said he reached out to Hauska and apologized. He said their conversation was pleasant, and Hauska said she didn't want the employee to be disciplined, but that she is hoping we'll take the chance to continue to educate our staff about the many Native American tribes bands in our state and region to better understand their culture. He said Hauska told him that she was surprised by the situation, but because she often travels for speaking engagements, and TSA agents in Minnesota have always been good at being respectful and recognize sacred religious items, such as tribal IDs. "We all make mistakes," Van Leuven concluded. "We'll all learn from this." A statement from the TSA said the agency holds its employees to a high standards of professional conduct, and any type of improper behavior is taken seriously. All right, hold on. Let's see where we go now. I think we got time for one more. Officials in a Nevada city said they are trying to find and rescue a pigeon seen wandering around with a sombrero apparently glued to its head. Reno City Manager Sabra Newby tweeted photos she had snapped of the sombrero-wearing pigeon. Like I'm looking at this thing right now. This is awesome. Yeah, apparently the sombrero-wearing pigeon She took pictures while she was on a ride along with the city parking enforcement officers. Washoe County Animal Services said it's trying to track down the pigeons so the hat can be removed safely. 2 pigeons were recently spotted in Las Vegas with cowboy hats glued to their heads. One of the pigeons was captured by officials but later died. While quirky or fun, it's still inhumane, Newby said. The birds suffered with this exact thing happened last year in Las Vegas. One of them recently died. We do not want copycats. Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we post a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. What First Nations legends do you believe to be true and why? But before we get to that, good friend of this show, Joe, who has incredible hair and a fantastic beard, we want to give a shout out to his anti-critter device, his dog Bella. She had a seizure tonight, but she's doing okay now. Joe, we're going to send some love to Bella tonight, because I know Bella always sits by you to listen to the show. So hi, Bella. Hope you're feeling much better, and much love and that you're feeling better. Gosh, Bella's a pretty good dog. Pretty darn good dog. So big shout out to Bella there, Joe's dog. All right, Thought of the Dave. First Nations legends you tend to believe are true. John, in Lake Okanagan, Okobogo, there have been so many sightings over the last decades, and natives firmly believe in it. Alfred, Bigfoot, because I've witnessed them. Sylvia, skinwalkers, Bigfoot, and men with forked tongues. There's proof and documentation. Robin, I believe that every legend that you have read in Norse and Greek myth is not a myth. They are real. They have helped shape the First Nations. Marlene, Star People. I've not been up to Canyon de Chayal, but I've had interviews and seen interviews with residents there. The carvings and paintings are compelling, and the first-hand stories of the tribal members are fascinating. I think the old rock paintings, along with the stories handed down, could be true. Reverend Keith, I've been told by this Canadian guy the legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy. Oh, yes, yes, Gordon Lightfoot and The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Oh, what a song. What a song. Good call there, Reverend Keith. I'm actually going to clap for that one. I should have saved that one for last, but I kind of read these cold, and wow, that was a good one. I love that song. Patrice, Hairy Men of the Woods, because I found him when I was not looking for him. John, I want to learn more about the little people. The next time I go to Cherokee, I'm going to see if I could find an elder willing to talk about them. I believe it because of how the stories have been passed down for generations. Gabe, Skinwalkers, because there are way too many reports of them to be fake. Mandy, Manitoka lives since 2018 and growing. Heather, all of them. The Native American Indians knew things the white settlers don't. First Nation people were in touch with the paranormal, spirituality, the indigenous creatures, and animals of all sorts. They didn't mess around. They respected the land, other realms, life, and diversity. So much was lost with that basic Holocaust wipeout years ago. Too bad Bigfoot didn't wipe out the white man for trying to steal his forest back then. It'd be quite a different story. Final word goes to Kevin. They have convinced me of the existence of Sasquatch through the power of their carvings, oral traditions, and acceptance by their people of all ages. That's a good one. That's really good, actually. Really, really good. So I want to say a big thank you to everybody taking part in the Thought of the Dave on our Facebook page and on Twitter. We'll do it all again on Monday. because that's when I will be back. And we want to say big thanks to Captain Shirk for getting our news ready for the SOR Newswire. Brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Captain Shirk updates the news daily, so check in often at spacedoutradio.com because she works pretty darn hard to get that all done for you. Puts it on our Facebook page, too, the SOR Newswire. She's always busted butt. Always. Always. That's why we love her around here. And a big thank you to our guest tonight, Dee McCullay, filmmaker, documentarian, paranormal investigator. Man, did he share some wild stories out of Thunder Bay, Ontario. Yeah, that's a weird area there, man. They got a big military base, too. I forgot to ask him if that tied into anything. I should have, but I didn't. Maybe next time. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in this week at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Special thanks to everybody in our chat rooms on LGAB, Revolution Radio, Spreaker, Facebook, the SOR Space Travelers Club on our website, and all the snarkers and snarkettes for making me laugh this week at hashtag Spaced Out Radio on Twitter. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. I want to say a big thank you for sharing your week with us. It's been awesome. We'll do it again next week because together, my friends, we're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. I know you're out there somewhere watching me. Have a great weekend, everybody. Little Richie G, Saturday night with Spaced Out Saturdays. On Sunday, we got Everett Thiemer in studio. Check them on out. They deserve your support. I'll be back on Monday with Alex Mistretta. Ghosts, UFOs. See you then. Good night. Have a great weekend.